Hi, my name is Sam Johnson and I am a voice teacher. Today I will be reacting to and analyzing Metallica performing Nothing Else Matters in Chicago, Illinois, August 9th, 2024. Quite recent for those Metallicas. If you are interested in signing up for a voice lesson, please consider me. Go to vocalease.net. I really like that he is dancing a little bit, getting that subdivision. It's making everything sound very rhythmically intact when it's just him. They're not using click tracks, I think, in-ear tracks, because he was doing a nice, a little retardando at the end there where he got slower. At least I think that's what happened. If you are in Metallica and you were using click tracks, or you are someone who works in live sound and you know more than me, please let me know down in the below section. I don't have much to say about this. I'm not a professional guitarist. I've played some guitar before. I'm not very good at it because I have a tremor, and that's a thing that makes doing this finger picking stuff really, really difficult. But he sounds sick, you know? It sounds like he's in one of the most successful metal bands of all time, and he's doing that in a successful way. This video is 7.5 minutes long, the one that I'm reacting to, right? It's really, really long, and having a longer performance allows you to play with form in different ways than shorter ones. Obviously, longer songs allow for a lot more repetition, a lot more slow build, just more, right? It's like trying to do a short story versus a novel. You just have a lot more room to do stuff. So far, we're just kind of getting the mood set, and everyone's like, this is sick, it's Nothing Else Matters, because we all know the song and it's our favorite band, Metallica! Guitar melodies, guitar counterpoint, harmonizing is very cool. I like that they came over and looked at each other and they're like, we're in this together. How many times do you think they have practiced or played that part together? They've been around since 1326. So they've had a lot of opportunities to practice it, but I'm not very good at math because I majored in music, which means I can only count to like 4 or 6 on a good day. If you have any guesses, you know, put it in the bottom, and if you get close enough, then you win the thing of jelly beans. Ooh, I kind of like that I can hear a little vibrato at the end of that. How far? Just a little. It's not so much that it's overpowering. Could be much more from the heart, forever trusting who we are. He's right up on that microphone, right? It changes the sound quite a bit to be that close to it. I have my microphone set up probably a little far away for what would be ideal and stuff. But as a result, he doesn't have to be very loud. And so at this point, he isn't being very loud. I'm curious when it gets into some of the more heavy parts, if he changes his microphone technique at all, if he pulls off of it at all, or if we perceive the sound to be quite a bit louder, because we can tell at this point it's very quiet. It's much quieter than what I'm speaking like right now. Never opened myself this way. Life is hard, really always. Okay, he likes that E vowel. So way, the word way is a word in English that is spelled W-A-Y, but we pronounce it way, which has 2 vowels. Kind of has like 3 vowels, right? Because the oo at the beginning, oo-way, oo-way. He likes that last vowel with it. Ooh-way, ooh-way. Versus if he liked the first vowel of it, that would be ridiculous. I haven't heard anyone do that. Ooh-way. Or if you really like the middle vowel, be way. You usually want to choose one vowel that's in a diphthong or a triphthong and be like, this is the one that is the most important and that I'm going to hold for a really long time. And stylistically, a lot of people choose to do the second vowel, or like in a diphthong, it's the very first vowel, right? And make the last vowel kind of function more like a consonant. And he's doing the opposite of that. These words I don't just see, and nothing else matters. I also like the matters. Acoustically, it brings the value of the third formant down, and it makes it a super cluster of formants of the second and the third formant, because there's just a lot of acoustic energy up around, I think, like 2000 hertz, something like that. And it tends to make sounds a lot rounder. People don't like it. A lot of times that's another thing in choirs where they're like, don't say So if you're saying the word world or Werther's originals, they might have you say the word world. And he is leaning into that dialect of American and it's very spoken. I'm also interested in his posture and why his microphone is positioned at that exact place, because he does seem to be leaning toward it just a little bit, which is something that a lot of people don't like doing. It makes it's not as comfortable, like to have this bowling ball not in the center of your spine, but he's able to do it well. But that's a thing that, you know, if you're performing and gigging a lot and you're going like this and you're like, singing's really hard, well, maybe move your microphone up. Now he's adding a little bit more distortion. It's that false chord scream, which my favorite way to get that is by doing a Kermit the Frog or a Pee Wee Herman, which is a character that I never grew up with, but that I just recently watched the documentary about him that he made with someone else. And it was just like a fascinating character to me.
But he uses this sound a lot. I don't know if we would say this is more of the Kermit the Frog or the Pee Wee or something else, but he also does these like screams where it goes like, ah, ah!
The position of his vocal tract to make the is also a good position to kind of do a controlled snore. And you can use the anatomy above your true vocal folds, and they just like wobble together and flap around a bunch, and it makes a lot of kind of funky sounds. So you can make that sound without really needing to push a lot, right? If I'm doing the Kermit,
I'm Kermit the Frog, and then you find a normal spoken voice kind of volume, and then just blow air through.
It's not that loud. I'm not that loud. Am I being loud?
Figure out how to do that kind of sound, and then you can start adding in those rougher sounds to your normal speech level singing. Can I say that, or is that copyrighted? I don't know. I didn't say that one. Sorry, Seth. Every day for us something new. All of my for a different view. And nothing else matters. Yeah, that sounds almost like Madu, right? Matters. Don't care what they do. Nice stuff, James Hetfield. Yeah, he jumped up to the F and the F sharp, which is a bugger of an area for a lot of male singers, because it's where there's a lot of transitions, where you kind of transition from the feeling being primarily more in your chest for most people to the feeling being primarily in your head. And a lot of people don't like that feeling going up and down. Hello, it's me. I'm a lot of people. So we fight to stay in the feeling of the lower one. And as a result of that, we will tend to get louder as we approach that middle part of our voice, that bridge, and we'll often open our mouth. And those are connected, right? It's because we're getting a little bit louder. We have to open our mouth. Because we open our mouth, we're getting a little bit louder and yellier sounding and everything. But he didn't get significantly louder. It's a little bit louder than the lower parts that he was singing, but it's really not quite as much as I think a lot of people perceive the jump to be, because they hear the emotionality that he gets and they're like, oh, I feel this emotion, therefore I must feel the sensation in my chest as I start singing these higher notes. And it's probably not the case. So if you're like me and you struggle to let the feeling, the placement of your voice kind of move up into your head at this part of your range, play with not opening your mouth more and keeping the same volume, which I wasn't able to see his mouth really well with that, but I didn't see him go to like, and nothing else matters, because that would sound ridiculous.
So close, no matter how far. It couldn't be much more from the heart.
He is kind of making all of the vowels around that kind of place. Right? They're all different vowels and there's independence between them, but sometimes to get that like really Metallica-y sound, he's a famous singer, and so he has a sound that's associated with him that lowers the larynx, it lengthens the lips, so it lengthens the entire vocal tract, which lowers the values of all of the formants, including the second and third formant, if we're already doing that second and third formant cluster thing that I was mentioning before. And so I think of this as kind of, if you're playing darts, we're not trying to get everyone in the center, we're trying to get everyone grouped around the center that you choose. And he kind of has this undervowel choice of this and nothing else matters. So all of the vowels kind of rhyme with it, versus and nothing else matters, where each of them are like so far away. That would be, you get one in the middle, you get it right in the middle of the bullseye, and then you get one over just kind of here, and then you get one over in the bartender's eye all the way over there, and that's moving around like that. Just keep aiming towards the same sort of vowel shape centering.
Forever trust in who we are, and nothing else matters. Never care what we do.
Oh man, he's singing gorgeous. Like, he's singing really, 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 really well. I love the volume choices he's making. I love that sort of gentle quality. Never cared for what you do. More of that kind of sound, rather than like I'm angry and I never cared for what you do. Which is another thing that, like, having a 7-minute song allows you to play with a lot of those things in repetition.
Never care for what they know. Yes, I know. Yes, I know.
I'm not sure why he colored his teeth with that. Some people really recommend opening and like showing those front teeth. Oh no! I know! Oh no! How does that change the sound to your ear in my voice? So I'm not usually a big fan of just jam band. That's not the kind of thing that I listen to a lot, and I wouldn't say that this is, but I really like these legendary bands that have played together so long that they're just like able to do things kind of loosey-goosey, right? Like a few years ago I saw the Stones play and they were so loosey-goosey that was almost distracting, but it was really fun to see these people who are incredible musicians and they're just kind of relaxing a little bit. And again, it's probably because he's performed this, I think we said 73 million times, which is too many times. Most people would lose their voice, but because he hasn't lost his voice, that's proof that he's doing things well.
Never open myself this way. Life is ours, we live it our way. All these words I don't just see, and nothing else matters. Yeah.
And his and is very open compared to a lot of the rest of his vowels. And nothing else matters.
Trust I seek and I find in you. Every day for us something new.
The vibrato at the end is just really telling that what he's doing is functioning very, very well. I liked that one starting with the glottal onset with the but it wasn't slamming into it. A lot of people have kind of bad feelings towards glottals because they go, every day, and that hurts. It doesn't feel very good. But he didn't make it any more than what he would with kind of a normal speech, right? I'm excited. I'm talking to all of you fun Metallica fans. It makes me want to get really loud. So I might go, every day! But if I'm really trying to find the emotional reason, it's like, okay, I'm talking to someone every day. We don't need to hammer it all the time. So a big thing in my singing journey over the last few years has been recognizing how often I mix up pitch with volume with tone and figuring out ways to untangle those and be able to get to like change the other two legs a little bit while keeping one leg constant or any of that, just you learn a lot about your voice by recognizing, wow, every time that I go up to a higher note, I sing it so much louder. Why do I do that? Do I have to do that? Actually, you probably don't have to do that, but by doing that, you're doing that.
My forty for you. No, nothing else matters.
The more wide vowels, never care for what they say. He was going a little, I wouldn't say splattier, but he's elfening a little bit more, right? So he's going between this shape. He's aiming for the dartboard over here, and then he's aiming for this shape, which is aiming for a second dartboard that's over there. And you like both of the dartboards, and he's very happy to hit either of those dartboards, but he has to choose which one he's going for, right? And doing that, it just gives some cool different colors, different tones.
Never care who gives it, baby. Never care what they do.
There's also a lot of people singing, which, like, he sounds awesome. Mr. Metallica sounds really good, but also having vocal layering, so having, these other Metallica and Sons over there doing their singing, even if it's not up very loud, it does change the tone enough that it just starts sounding like a more full voice. It's like a more pleasant thing a lot of the time.
Never care what they do. 'Cause I know.
Okay, so that's the most aggressive that we've heard. Yeah! Which is the same sort of idea of getting that
Be Kermit. I'm Pee-wee. It's Pee-wee Herman.
He went a little sharp there.
So close, no how far.
love how casual a lot of this is. How far? How far? We don't need to hold out every note. No matter how far. No matter how far. Some things don't matter as much.
Couldn't be much more from the heart. Forever trusting who we are. What is it, Chicago?
You also get enough people in a room singing one line and you find a pitch center, right? Like, it sounds like it's in tune, even though there are literally 20,000 voices singing that, and they're all a little bit out. Which is kind of, I think, something that happens with vibrato, too, is when everything just averages around, it actually sounds more on pitch. So if you're on this one frequency and there's no wiggle at all, it actually tends to start sounding a little bit flat, which is why we ask people to get a little bit louder as they're sustaining things, or to allow this vibrato. It just opens up the sound and makes it not sound flat. I really think that we should have gotten that whole audience to sing with a little bit more vibrato so that it would really sound good, but, you know, they did fine.
So right.
Good. Hit it one more time. Good. Yeah, maybe one more. Nope. Well done, Metallicas. I think that was... They sound awesome, man. Like, I haven't been huge Metallica head, but the Black Album, you know, the classic one that everyone loves and is like, this is the one that's the truest Metallica, where they sound the most Metallica and everyone loves them, and all of their fans were like, we love the Metallicas. That, I liked that album a lot, and I would listen to that album while I was pumping iron when in like 7th grade, and it's fun. It feels really like emotional. I like that album quite a bit. At least I did in 7th grade, and I continue to like it now based on recent evidence. James is singing like phenomenally well. Like, there's really nothing that we really need to change about it. I'm also going to take a little bit of comfort from the fact that he doesn't sing higher than an F sharp, and it sounds really good. And I have, like I said, I have a struggle of letting my feeling go up into my head really smoothly a lot of the time. And it's kind of gotten in my head over the years as like, because you don't have the same sort of ease that maybe Sam Smith has up at the top of their range, I am not as good of a singer. But like, he's a very good singer. He's not, he knows his instrument, and he's not pushing it past what it's capable of. But because he's able to do that, he's able to use these growly sounds and dynamic shifts. Actually, I wouldn't even say they're as much dynamic shifts as just tonal shifts, right? He's going between dartboard here, and growly dartboard, but he's not really making them significantly louder each time. It's just like, okay, the way that I move, if I was playing guitar over here, I'm not suddenly going to like use a totally different muscle to just go a little bit louder. I'm going to like play it the same way. And he, I guess, is doing the same sort of thing where he's just changing the shape of his vocal tract mostly, and not really changing the amount of like gas that he's throwing through that engine. Very even singing. Really, really good. Congratulations on your beautiful career. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe. If you want to sign up for voice lessons, you can do that on my website, vocalease.net, which is a pun. Figure that out.